Please welcome Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Y'all, because you know this is only an hour show. So, hello.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
It's good to see y'all.
So, now last month you shook everybody up. You shook up the Texas Senate race by announcing your candidacy. Texas hasn't elected a Democrat statewide in, they say, 30 years. So tell everyone why you feel that's not going to be a problem.
Well, I'm not going to say it's not going to be a problem, but I will tell you that I plan to get it done. Listen, I am used to being underestimated. You know, people that know my story know that I actually only won by 90 votes to get to the state house. And as a freshman, I was handpicked by my predecessor to then go to the U.S. House. Listen, what I did is I evaluated the numbers. The numbers are clear that we can win. Texas is a non-voting state. We are one of the lowest voter turnout states in the entire country, with only about a little bit more than 50% of people turning out to vote. We are also a majority minority state. So for everybody that's like, well, she running for Senate and she black. Yes, I am. I am. And
And there are 3 million black voters.
Actually, 4.
Right? 4 million black voters.
We have more African Americans in the state of Texas than any other state. But at the end of the day, the way that I govern is I govern for the people, regardless of my race. And then there are people like, well, it's women, and you know how people feel about women. Let me tell you about the state of Texas. The state of Texas has already had 2 women governors, to be clear.
And Richards.
Our first one was in the 1930s, to be clear. And one of the best-known senators from the state of Texas is actually a woman, woman Republican. So, like, let's just stop with, like, what we think. I want to be clear that a lot of people haven't put their numbers up, and I haven't put mine up for a good reason, because I'm playing for keeps. But let me tell you that I know how to evaluate and I know how to win races. So I will say that, and I will also say that the front runner in this race was Colin Allred, someone that I served with. After I got my numbers, I did call him as well as the other person in this race. I told them that I would share my numbers with them privately. I did not get asked for those numbers. And I will say that Colin Allred, at the end of this race, in my opinion, will be one of the heroes. Because as the Democratic nominee last time, he decided to step aside because he felt like what mattered was getting the best person across the finish line. And in this moment, it wasn't about him as an individual. He felt like I was ready and that I could get it done.
That's rare.
A rare quality. In that same vein, and you still have one other challenger, James Tallarico, state representative, who I believe you served with.
Yes.
But some Democrats worry that your reputation as an anti-Trump resistance leader could hurt you in deep red Texas, where he won by double digits. Some Republicans came out of the gate saying, you know, this was a gift and the greatest thing. How do you, and there's also been reporting that the NRSC even put your name into the field in polls to try to drive up your polling support so you'd get into the race. How do you respond to those concerns, and are you ready to take them on?
I'm absolutely ready. I wouldn't have got in the race otherwise. And the reason that we started with the video that you saw is because I knew that the attacks were coming. And the point is, I will remain cool as a cucumber, and I will smile at the end. That is why that video looked that way. I will also say that I did not rely on NRSCC to make my decision. I spent a lot of money on my own polling to make sure that I could evaluate it, and we actually tested in a very different way. One of the reasons that polls have consistently been inaccurate when it came down to Donald Trump is because he's able to excite a different group of people that no one ever counts on. And so what we did is we wanted to evaluate whether or not we could expand the electorate, because if the electorate remains the same electorate that it's been for the last 30 years, we'll get the same result. So the only way to win is to actually expand it. But honestly, the vast majority of pundits will tell you, well, you gotta go get Trump voters. Well, here's the reality. I think that there are a lot of Trump voters that are actually upset about their vote for Trump because he is not delivering, number one, on his promises. So we can start there, not to mention the economy and affordability is not really great right now. So I do think that there are a lot of people that, number one, want to make sure that there is somebody that will check him on their behalf. As a Texan, I can tell you we do trade big in Texas. But guess who's messed that up? Donald Trump. As a Texan, I can tell you that we do agriculture big, and I served on the Ag Committee. As a Texan, I can tell you that some of those folk are upset. Right now, there's been a lot of talk about how there's the Tyson plant that shut down in Nebraska. Let me tell you, Amarillo, Texas, where they process beef for Tyson, they are about to shut down as well. So let me tell you, at the end of the day, people will have to make a decision. I'm not asking people to become my best friend. And as I used to campaign for the vice president, I would go into a lot of churches and I'd ask them to raise their hand if they love their spouses, and they would raise their hand. And I say, do you always agree with them? Yeah, that's the kind of response we would normally get. Listen, it's not about whether or not you agree with someone 100% of the time. It's about, do you have the strength to stand in this moment? And right now, the people are looking for real leaders that are gonna fight for them.
Yes, yeah, right, and you're one of them. You're one of them. So I want to just say one thing about you, because I think you clearly trigger the base, Trump, and also the vice president. Let's watch this clip.
And Jasmine Crockett. Oh, Jasmine Crockett. The record speaks for itself. She wants to be a senator, though her street girl persona is about as real as her nails.
Go ahead. Here's your chance. Respond to
Okay,
him.
so first of all, my nails are real. But I will say, what a lot of people don't understand, and Alyssa, you can help me out with this, is that Republicans are a lot better at doing focus groups, right? And so Democrats, we rely on like poll, but focus groups allow you to kind of get down to the nitty gritty of like why people feel a certain way about certain things. Well, I can tell you that right now, what disturbs them is that I am able to get at a demographic that Democrats have been losing. Consistently in third-party polls, as well as my internal polling, it shows that those that don't have a college degree, by over 70%, choose me. Well, that's a demographic that we've been losing without, so now he's like, oh, no, it's all fake. Like, don't believe that. No, the reality is that I was a criminal defense attorney. I was a public defender. I am somebody who walked into plenty of jails and dealt with real killers. So let me be clear, I understand what happens in the streets, but I don't have to, quote unquote, be a street girl. And I don't even know why.
Don't you think that that's racist?
No.
What is it?
Joy, you know it's racist. Now, we know that, right?
It's very racist.
But one of the things that they've been trying to do for quite some time is to try to figure out, specifically within minority communities, where I do well is how do I divide minorities about who Jasmine is? So sometimes they say, oh, she's so educated. And so they're trying to get people that maybe don't have as many degrees, but I'm like, it's not about that. We are all in the same sinking ship, whether you black, white, Asian.
That's right.
You know,
Educated, non-educated,
we're all in the same
here.
sinking ship.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, I am fighting for all Texans, and so we're gonna be Texas tough during this election.
Yes, we are.